All right,
They
right.
needed
I get
they
that.
needed they needed something. They needed a fix now. Like they needed something, a band-aid now, because you couldn't.
Right,
Who else was gonna be used? Romans dusted through everybody.
right. Do you think Edge has more of a shot now than he did at that triple threat match at WrestleMania? Does he now have a legitimate shot to
Oh yeah.
dethrone Roman Reigns? Because
Yep.
Roman Reigns is on a roll in every way.
Yeah. But if not Edge, then who? Who? Unless you can realistically really get by like a, it would take a shooting star to get John Cena or
Yo,
somebody like that.
according to every day I pick up my phone now, he's either on late night with Jimmy Fallon or he's doing some interview with Fox, and they're asking him, "Are you coming?" And he's ducking it, or he's changing the subject. I don't know. Maybe there might be a shooting star shooting because it sounded like with the rumors and the way he's like ducking the question, he's trying to keep it close to the vest. Because Cena's the type that doesn't like to spoil he don't like spoilers. He don't like when the rumors ruin the surprises these days. So it seems like he's trying to keep people on their toes to not think he's coming. I mean, but I absolutely agree with you. I mean, any way you look at it, man,
If
Edge
not
coming
Edge,
back,
then
Edge
who?
coming back is good for wrestling.
Hmm.
We haven't seen him since WrestleMania, and he was supposed to be the number one contender in a one-on-one match to begin with. You know, Daniel Bryan, as he tends to do, built momentum organically, so they had to make it a triple threat match. But this was honestly the match we were supposed to get. And I think it'll mean more at a Money in the Bank, the event and ladder match that Edge made famous. And, you know, now that he's back, I definitely think for the first time, Roman, you know, what you've been, you know, begging for from WWE, for the first time, there is a legitimate doubt where you're like, all right, Edge, he's back, he's refreshed. It's that Money in the Bank, something he helped make famous. Maybe he could be this guy to stop the big bad Samoan, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. And, you know, he looked great. He attacked him and, you know, Jimmy Uso. You know, this is a hell of a big step in the right direction now that we're about to have audiences and live attendance.
Yeah, he's, any way you look at it, he's a big time name. You know, he's a Hall of Fame guy. He always looks pretty good every time he's here. So it's not like he looks awful and he's one of those fossils, you know. So it's a good money match. But again, you know, I just think down the road, if Roman escapes this, who gets him?
Well, it is a good question. I think regardless of who gets him, I mean, my educated guess is regardless of who he is, if if it's a miracle and they get Cena, if it's maybe a Brock and they swerve us, I just feel like regardless, most likely he's not scheduled to lose that championship anytime soon. I just don't sense we're at the point in his reign where things are still things are still fresh, even though it's almost been a year. So I don't sense him losing it. But I don't think it's necessarily about him taking an L. I think it's about who could who could keep raising the bar with the type of television that he's putting on. Who could match him to
Yeah,
put on these performances.
this is
And
perfect.
I think Edge, I mean, he could do if they can't get a Cena, Edge could do this for 2 months. You know, they could keep us engaged for 2 months, but obviously my main hope is Cena, but I'm not holding my breath. But with all the talks that are happening every day, I'll say this: it's looking like the most realistic Cena match comeback we've possibly could have in the last 3 years. It's looking like the most realistic because I have a feeling he's feeling nice. He has like maybe an open month, and he's like, "Yo, I gotta do this." You know, the pandemic happened. I'm feeling nice. I've been gone a while. I feel like that might be his headspace right now.
I think that's a miracle if that's his headspace. I really do. I just see the sky's the limit for him right now in his second career. I really think he's on a roll in terms of the movie scene, and I think it would be a bad time for him to be here because it's not really necessary. It's not really needed for him to come and take this type of punishment. But if he does, it'll be great. That'll be the biggest match of the year.
Yeah. Bar none. That like we don't even need to see the rest of the year. Like bar
Biggest pay per
none.
view, biggest pay per view of the year. So it'll
Yeah.
be the biggest thing going.
Bar none. And it's funny you bring up the movies. He is killing it in Hollywood. He just said in an interview that if him and Rock could somehow collab on some type of movie
That's what
project,
they should
yeah, that's where I was. That's where I was going. I found it interesting that he said that. He said if they could collab sometime soon in Hollywood, he's up for it, and he's interested to see if The Rock's up for it. I think The Rock would be up for it, and you know what? For two guys that never want to wrestle and never want to, take bumps, I don't blame them at all. Man, you need to tell me if these two came on some type of movie. Of course, it got to be the right type of movie.
No,
that
it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't. Their names together, not only will it carry all those wrestling fans, past, present, and future, to that movie, it'll carry all these other newer fans that they're gaining in Hollywood. And I think it's the perfect business move for two guys like that. I know Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he wasn't Hollywood heavy, but when he was dipping his toes into Hollywood, I know he was asked a couple times, what would a movie, doing it with Rock be like? Because that was his number one rival. But he didn't love movies, the way these two do. So imagine that. Like, it doesn't get any bigger than that. That might be as big as them coming back for any type of wrestling match. That business, yeah.
It's bigger.
It's huge.
It would be way bigger. Honestly, they shouldn't even be thinking about stepping in the ring. I think they should just step in a movie scene. Because it really doesn't matter what it is, whether it's comedy, action, adventure, crime. These guys could do anything.